Welcome to Trinidad and Tobago to our News 4 report, a product of the Government Information Services Limited and the Ministry of Communications. I'm Nicola Barito. Let's take a look at the headlines. Siparia Regional Corporation officially completes Siparia Market. Ministry of Trade pushing to double the country's exports in 5 years. And the Ministry of Tobago Development launches the Getting It Done series. Thank you for joining us to our top story. A red letter day in the lives of Siparia constituents is how Prime Minister the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar is describing the opening of the $56 million Siparia market, which has been completed. The Prime Minister, who is also the Member of Parliament for that area, commissioned the opening of the busy market, where vendors have already begun using parts of the facility.
The dream of the Siparia market has become a reality, and the Siparia Regional Corporation is boasting that it is the only one of its kind in the country. It is equipped with 170 provision stalls, 8 fully air-conditioned meat and fish stalls with chiller spaces, and ice maker for fish displays. Commissioning the official opening of the market, Prime Minister the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar paid tribute to the vendors who she says for years had been working with poor infrastructure.
Everybody in Siparia knows that what was here before was not a market. It was cardboard boxes and galvanized and tarpaulin, and when it rained, it would just, in fact the day we came it was raining that day when we visited. It would just be underwater, really not in a very sanitary condition. And so the vendors over the years, they were really soldiers in their own right and survivors to be able to continue to work here in the conditions that existed. And so I'm very happy that we were able to deliver on this promise.
The Prime Minister sought to reveal other initiatives that will be forthcoming.
I also have a vision for the Savannah. Those of you who knew me, I grew up opposite the Savannah. We have already started work on a state-of-the-art regional sports complex for Irwin Park. That is to include a cycle track, upgrading of the football and the other grounds that are there. That project is on the way, and hopefully it will not take 3 years, but I think a faster time than the 3 years to have it done. But that work has started.
The Prime Minister says markets throughout the country can also look forward to receiving a facelift.
I believe at the moment we are looking at is it Princestown and Arima. Those two are on the drawing board. And Penal Davy, those are on the drawing board. Siparia needs to come into that loop because, as I say, you need to identify land space. That is one of the challenges. So in addition to these things we're doing, this market is here. We have been looking at the markets in Shagwana.
Mrs. Persad-Bissessar pledged her support and commitment as their Member of Parliament for Siparia to continue working with the people for the development of the constituency and the country by extension. A press release from the corporation stated that the Siparia market has 8 food outlets, a food court, 2 administrative offices, hairdressing booths, a conference room and a caterer's room. Also a passenger elevator and a cargo elevator in addition to stairways to facilitate the physically challenged. Also a tank for emergency water supply, a new and innovative septic tank system for sewer waste disposal and a garbage disposal area on site. There are also 2 security booths, and dusk to dawn lights have been placed around the site to aid in security. A telephone and Wi-Fi system is also expected to be implemented. Joseph Lopez, News 4.
In other news, members of the Trinidad and Tobago Manufacturing Association benefited from a special forum that gave insight into the keys to the trade and export financing. We have more in this report from Nikolai Edwards.
On Monday, the Ministry of Trade, Industry and Investment facilitated a special forum for members of the Trinidad and Tobago Manufacturers Association entitled Keys to Trade and Export Financing. This comes in the wake of an expression of interest by the ministry to the TTMA for the doubling of the country's exports in 5 years. The event brought together 3 agencies under the ministry: the Exim Bank of Trinidad and Tobago, Export TT, and the Trinidad and Tobago Free Zones, which provided relevant information on their products to the members of the TTMA.
One of the things that I've insisted upon in the last 12 to 15 months is that the organizations that fall under the Ministry of Trade, Industry and Investment act collaboratively. Far too often, we have a situation where organizations, even departments in the ministry, act in silo effect. In other words, the left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing. And one of the things that we've insisted upon over the last 12, 15 months is the fact that all of our agencies must act in tandem, understanding the role that each of them must play in order to create the environment to allow business to take place freely in Trinidad and Tobago.
Minister Bharat spoke of the many developments in recent months under his government in the areas of trade, industry and investment. Among these are the results of the government's trips to India and Canada, which he says is now bearing fruit. He also spoke of the strong relationships between this country and the United States, as well as China, as evidenced by the recent visits by dignitaries of both countries. Following the minister's speech, presentations were given on each of the state agencies. The Trinidad and Tobago Free Zones Company Limited facilitates foreign and local investors in setting up approved enterprises in the manufacturing, international trading and services sector dedicated to exports. It is said that over $100 million in revenues are generated annually by approved enterprises in the Trinidad and Tobago Free Zones. Meanwhile, the Export-Import Bank of Trinidad and Tobago Limited remains the only official export credit agency in the country. It has emerged out of what was formerly the Trinidad and Tobago Export Credit Insurance Company Limited, which was established in 1973 by the government to promote the export of goods and services. This allows regional buyers access to a wide range of manufactured goods on credit terms. Lastly, Export TT Limited was designated to be the sole national export facilitation organization of Trinidad and Tobago, the mandate of which is to generate export growth and diversification in the goods and services sectors, increase the international competitiveness of exporters, develop new exporters across the various sectors of interest, and expand to new markets based on market research. Monday's forum is part of a much wider export thrust by the Ministry of Trade, Industry and Investment for the manufacturers, producers and members of the services industry of Trinidad and Tobago. Nikolai Edwards, News 4.
Residents along the Southwest Peninsula will receive an increased reliable supply of water. The plant will more than double its output less than a month after it began operations. A release from the Water and Sewage Authority stated that the plant is expected to ramp up up to more than 3 million gallons per day by Thursday, August 8th, up from 1.2 million gallons a day, which it currently releases. To date, an estimated 13,600 residents in Mahaica, Clifton Hill, Newlands, Reservoir Hill, Harriman Park, Tisha and Point Fortin proper have had their supply moved from 2 days a week to a reliable 5-day supply per week, with customers in Egypt Village and Fanny Village receiving a 24/7 supply. WASA says an additional 17,000 residents of Parilands, Vance River, Guapo, Sobo Village, Lot 10, Labre, as well as large users such as Petrotrin, the Labre Industrial Estate and Atlantic LNG will benefit from an improved supply when the desal plant comes fully functional on or by August 31st. When we come back, getting it done in Tobago. The Ministry of Tobago Development has embarked upon a Getting It Done series with the aim of meeting various communities in Trinidad or in Tobago and sharing with them its program, services and other information.
It is the hope of Minister in the Ministry of Tobago Development, the Honorable Dr. Delman Baker, to see Tobagonians take charge and be entrusted with their own future development. Prior to the meeting at the Costara Government Primary School, 2 successful meetings of a similar nature were held at Bethel and Canaan Bonaccord respectively. The final of the 4 meetings, and what was described as the largest of them all, was held in Bell Garden. At the Costara meeting, Minister Baker said there is still the challenge of Tobagonians receiving good service from other ministries of the government and the Tobago House of Assembly.
Let me ask you the questions. Are you satisfied with the degree to which every administration, central government or the THA, have been serving communities like yours in Tobago? Are you? And therefore this ministry was born out of the idea that we can find a way, if we work together, to speed up service delivery to the people of Tobago and to the people of Costara.
He says his ministry is dedicated to serving the people of Tobago and serving them well. He made this commitment.
If there is any proposal or project from the THA that wants or requires or needs the support of the members of Parliament, Tobago East and Tobago West, that project or proposal will get our fullest support.
He also made a commitment to the fishermen on the island.
The ministry is committing to them at least once in the year a bursary of $10,000 to support the fishing community in Tobago. That is business.
Further, the new Met office, proposed to start in Crown Point soon, will be equipped with a technologically advanced system that will be able to track all local fishing vessels, which will be outfitted with a locator chip device. The minister also said that in the very near future, the Tobago East constituency will experience what is called a half-island-wide development now that the land to construct the new integrated campus has been identified.
As development occurs aligned with this project, you will have all of the people of Tobago East being engaged immediately in construction activity for at least 18 months to get the major plant on the ground. And to build a university takes things. You have to get roads. You have to get the internet up. You have to get lights. You have to get water mains. So that all of Tobago East will now be exposed to a massive half-island-wide kind of development.
Reporting from Tobago, I am Patricia Nicholson for News 4.
Minister of Tobago Development, Dr. Delman Baker, said he was impressed with the turnout of the Getting It Done series of meetings with the communities. Villagers in attendance also gave their take on the initiative.
Minister of Tobago Development, Honorable Dr. Delman Baker, described the other Getting It Done series as excellent, as quite a number of persons turned out to hear his ministry's contribution and also to share their concerns. One Castara villager gave her thoughts on the initiative.
I'm happy about the program, and I'm looking forward to see you all or they or whoever come again, because there are many issues I could raise about Castara.
She outlined some of the issues.
Well, our roads, one, and my main issue is about the museum for the ex-Prime Minister and ex-President, because if you talk about tourism, that is part of it too. People could go there, see something, learn something. Even our children of the community can go there and learn something too.
Another villager said the meeting was indeed enlightening.
There are a lot of information that I would have received that I would not have had before. So in that regard, it was a very good evening for me.
He thinks more programs such as this one should be done regularly to teach persons to become more self-sufficient. And this villager said the program was quite informative since he did not know what were the exact roles and functions of the Ministry of Tobago Development.
Most people in Tobago are very skittish and not very trustworthy to know the whole political kind of aspect. So they will be kind of shy. As you would go out about what happened tonight, and you all wasn't on the whole political aspect, right, mainly trying to help the people will come back in the next time they come. And if they do live up to their word, they could actually do good in Tobago.
The series of meetings ended in the village of Belgarden. Reporting from Tobago, I am Natoya Johnson for News 4.
When we come back, our sport report. Stay with us. Trinidad and Tobago's performance at the recently concluded CONCACAF Gold Cup has inspired guarded optimism for the nation's football both at home and abroad. News 4 Sports caught up with some delighted Trinbagonians the day following the crucial match versus Honduras. Wayne Cunningham has more.
Trinidad and Tobago defeated Honduras 2-1 in Atlanta to advance to the quarterfinal of the 2013 CONCACAF Gold Cup. Some fans resident in the United States celebrated with that which is uniquely Trinbagonian, the Fete match.
TTFA President Raymond Timke, as well as team managers Peter Rampasad and William Wallace, even took time out to thank the fans for their support. Former national striker Gerald Nixon was amongst them. Spokesman for the group, Dick Cato, expressed delight in the Warriors' performance.
Evolution definitely is there. There's a lot of things I don't think is near the perfect picture yet, but there's a lot of things I think that we could definitely look at and see that Trinidad football, is on the way up. I think the defense, although defensively a lot of people say they're not looking well, but just they play on the ball, to me, is something that you need to look. I mean, it's a long time, I would say since the 1990 team, I never see a Trinidadian team who, with their feet, defense could play. Highland performance, to me, is definitely a great thing to look forward to. That is a player that definitely has it. We see Kenwin came on and fight hard for the country. So to me, it's a lot of positives I saw. Again, I'm not a coach, but I don't think it's near the perfect picture yet. But some of the little things that you saw in the games, I think Trinidad football is in a good position. And the players are young. That's the thing. I didn't know the ages, but when fellas tell me how young them guys were, then I say, what, we're going places.
Cato indicated that the talent pool for Trinidad and Tobago football extends to the United States, where a lot of outstanding players with Trinidad and Tobago lineage now reside.
We have a lot of kids, I would say, from age 6 all up the way to... They're good. Some of them play for the U.S. The U.S. under 17 captain right now is a Trinidadian, of Tobagonian parentage. So, we're ready. They're ready, and they just need the opportunities now. They're good, and we just need the forum for which to show their play. We saw Boucard play yesterday. We saw the other kid, Hoyt from England, that was injured, and that's world football now. There's no international team now that is only locals of that whatever country. It's literally a melting pot of people, parents, grandparents from other places. So Trinidad need to do the same as well.
The former Fatima and UWI student shared his thoughts on the government's heavy investment in sport.
There's an investment. And years now, Trinidad needed to realize that sport is a billion-dollar industry anywhere else in the world. And Trinidad has so many talented athletes that I think it is about time that the government put money into sports. Not just football, you said track and field, we have cyclists. We have an Olympian in javelin, a gold medalist in the javelin. Who would believe that? Trinidad have a javelin gold medal. So, that's exactly what it is. You say it right, it's an investment. And I think Trinidad government need to just realize that and continue spending, because the money they're putting in, they will get out. They'll get the ROI, the return on the investment will come.
Wayne Cunningham, News 4 Sports.
When we come back, animation in Trinidad and Tobago becomes a viable market. Stay with us. Animation in Trinidad and Tobago is becoming a viable market worthy of investments, and the University of Trinidad and Tobago is equipping its students with the tools they need to benefit from the rapidly growing market.
The University of Trinidad and Tobago is on a drive to see animation become a strong contributor to the local economy through the Creative Industries Growth Pole. Recently, UTT hosted a toon market at the National Academy for the Performing Arts, which showcased the final year projects of students pursuing the Diploma in Animation Studies and who are expected to graduate in November. A number of short animation films were presented, capturing the diverse talents of those enrolled in the course and inspiring lecturers and other facilitators to continue with the program.
I am so encouraged by what I see, by what I constantly witness in the evolution of this program, that we have been in discussions to elevate this program, to evolve this program into a bachelor's program. We are also encouraged to seek international accreditation for this program. Those are two issues that are very, very high on my agenda for this program: accreditation as well as the evolution into a bachelor's program. And you will see, those of you who are witnessing this screening for the first time, will see that there is good reason for us to aspire to accreditation and a degree when you see what the kind of work that our students have done.
Deputy Chairman of UTT's Board of Governors, Kwesi Matuma, spoke of the relevance to the country of promoting and developing the viable sector.
This evening's Toon Market is quite timely as the global animation industry is booming and our students' short films, which will be seen this evening, are indicators of the viability of our domestic animation market. This market is described as an emerging sector on the cusp of 12% growth. The local animation industry is dependent on production such as these. UTT's animation graduates are therefore a catalyst for an emergent industry, and their training and creativity can only help to promote the sustainability of the domestic animation market, and I dare say, even outside of that, regional and global. Because I think that even though your training and the honing of your skills will be done locally, but I think your vision has to be global.
Meanwhile, UTT's president told the soon-to-be graduates that their markets was more than 1.3 million persons, but rather more than 7 billion, which is the world's population. UTT encourages its students to become entrepreneurs and views those involved in the animation program as having the same ability to make a livelihood out of their talents. Recently, UTT signed 2 significant MOU between worldwide leader in digital content and animation creation software, Toon Boom, and Sheridan College, which will see students receiving great opportunities and experiences in this field. Nikolai Edwards, News 4.
Well, that's how we wrap up this edition of our News 4 report, a product of the Government Information Services Limited and the Ministry of Communications. I'm Nicola Barreto. Thank you for joining us.